I'm Alexis Salazar and I am here to present to you the assessment of young children with special needs. So for our guide questions, we have four. First is what is assessment and why is it important? Second is what is the importance of our role as educators when it comes to the assessment of young children with special needs? Third is what types of assessment needs to be considered and done for young children with special needs? And fourth is what with the assessments or evaluation done, how can we use this to improve and help our children grow inside the classroom? So first, let us talk about what assessment covers. The way teachers support and assess children's learning and monitor progress and identify next steps in learning. Second, reporting to parents or carers in writing and in discussions to help them understand the child's progress and what they can do to help their child's learning. Third, formal recognition of a child or young person's achievement through profiles and qualifications. And lastly, recognizing our children's achievements through a range of new qualifications in the senior school, which build on everything that they have accomplished throughout their schooling. So, what is assessment? According to NASET, the importance of assessment are it is important and crucial because it helps determine the extent and direction of a child's personal journey through the special education experience. So let's look at the 5 steps, mainly collection, analysis, evaluation, determination, and lastly, recommendation. So first for collection, the process of tracing and gathering information from the many sources of background information on a child such as school records, observation, parent intakes, and teacher reports. Second, for analysis, the processing and understanding of patterns in a child's educational, social, developmental, environmental, medical, and emotional history. Third, for the evaluation of a child's academic, intellectual, psychological, emotional, perceptual, language, cognitive, and medical development in order to determine areas of strength and weakness. For the fourth one, determination, the determination of the presence of a suspected disability and the knowledge of the criteria that constitute each category. And lastly, recommendation, the recommendations concerning educational placement and program that need to be made to the school, teachers, and parents. So, what is the importance of our role as educators when it comes to the assessment of young children with special needs? So, I believe that there are four, mainly helping hand, guide for the parents, and role model, as well as the family of these children. And there are 8 types of assessment that can be used for special education assessments. So let's tackle them all. First is developmental assessment, second is screening test, third is intelligent quotient test or IQ test, fourth is academic achievement test, fifth is adaptive behavior scales, sixth is behavior rating scales, seven is curriculum-based assessment, and lastly, end-of-grade alternative assessment. So for the types of assessment, looking at one by one. So for developmental assessment, it is considered as the norm reference scales that assess infants, toddlers, and preschoolers. It also finds strengths and weaknesses in very young children who are thought to be experiencing delays. For screening test, it is also known as the pre-kindergarten, an example of it is the pre-kindergarten screen. It is quick, easy to administer. It is quick and easy to administer, and they are used to identify children who may be below the norm in certain areas. Third, intelligent quotient tests are also known as IQ tests. It is generally given to students who are being considered for special education. IQ tests help determine if the student's learning problems are connected with intellectual abilities or other difficulties such as learning disabilities or emotional disturbance. Fourth is academic achievement test. Academic tests evaluate the student's performance in reading, writing, arithmetic, and other school subjects. Fifth is adaptive behavior scales. A student diagnosed with intellectual disabilities must show a deficit in adaptive behavior or basic living skills. Adaptive behavior scales assess skills in daily living, community participation, social abilities, motor abilities, and communication. And for sixth, behavior rating scales. A parent or teacher fills out scales that rates particular behaviors of the students, determines how intense or frequent a challenging behavior is by comparing scores to the other students. Seventh, curriculum-based assessment. It determines the student's skill level in a specific curriculum at a particular point in time. And lastly, end of grade alternate assessments. It is all about the students are tested at the end of each grade to show that they have made progress. So with the assessments or evaluation done, how can we use this to improve and help our children grow inside the classroom? So I believe that with the assessments done, as educators or as future educators, we are now able to build a foundation of knowledge that will help us strategize or look for different teaching strategies on ways that can help improve our students as well as our teaching skills or strategies. So for the 6 principles for an inclusive assessment, I mainly choose Principle 2, which is accessible assessments are used to allow students to show their knowledge and skills on the same challenging content. I believe that this is the most challenging, or this is the one that's problematic that we have today, especially that we're facing the pandemic and that we have shifted to online learning. So focusing on it, there are 3 bullets that I have presented to you. First is all assessments are designed from the beginning with the focus on accessibility for all students who will participate in the assessment. Second is accessibility and accommodation policies are informed by the defined construct to be measured, available research findings, and the purpose of the assessment. And lastly, alternate assessments, including alternate content assessments and alternate ELP assessments, are used to assess the knowledge and skills of the students whose disabilities are a barrier to demonstrating knowledge and skills in general assessments with or without allowable accessibility, features, and accommodations. I think I would like to end my discussions with the fact that inclusive assessment for young children with special needs does not only pertain to children with special needs. I believe that inclusive assessment should also be included for all types of learners, may they have a disability or not, especially that in our situation today that we are facing online learning or remote teaching, it is very hard for educators to assess the improvement or the progress of the students, especially that they do not see them face to face and that they only see them through online platforms. So it is very important for teachers to be crucial when it comes to their types of assessment, checking the progress of their students, if they lack anything, if the teachers still need to improve on other of their skills. So this inclusive assessment is not only for young children with special needs, but I believe that it should also incorporate all types of all types of learners with the different pedagogical strategies of the teachers. So that is it for my presentation, and thank you so much for listening.